cousin of mine once met a young man, who wanted to marry her. But the family did not approve. They felt she could do better. But she married him anyway. And the man knew this. But he still married her. But he was very insecure in their marriage. Every time she visited the family, he was in constant fear that they were going to convince her to leave him, even after she has had a child for him. That's how insecure he was. He monitored her every movement, where she went, who she spoke to, what she did and what she did not do. And his control turned into a physical abuse over time. And eventually, one more day of beating, and she decided it was enough. She left him. He was very devastated. Have you ever been with someone who says that they love you, but they are constantly accusing you of cheating? They check your phone, they monitor your every move. If they call you and you don't answer quickly enough, they get angry. You have innocent conversations with someone and they turn it into something else. You are loyal to them, but they are constantly accusing you of being unfaithful. Not fun, eh? At first, it feels like they care for you deeply. But over time, it starts to wear you down. You start getting tired of it. This pattern of behavior is what often destroys relationships. And that is why today we're talking about jealousy. Why people are jealous. And how unhealthy it can be. And if it is not controlled, it can make a very wonderful relationship turn into something else. Jealousy is very dangerous. It can destroy trust, create paranoia. It can push people away and turn a relationship into a toxic one over time. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 to 5, that love is patient, love is kind. It does not dishonor others. Excessive jealousy and control does not honor anybody. It dishonors, it belittles people. But sometimes though, what you may call jealousy may not be. It could be that your spirit is picking up some signs, something that is really troubling. And that is where discernment comes into play. Knowing the difference between discernment and insecurity. Everybody feels jealous sometimes. Your partner is laughing with someone and your stomach tightens. Someone more pretty or handsome walks into the room. You get uncomfortable. Your heart starts racing. An ex likes the picture of your partner and your mind starts wondering what's going on. It is not a matter of whether you feel some jealousy or not, because many people do sometimes. But it is what you do with it. Does it make you to get angry and start confronting somebody? Does it make you to start doing things that you shouldn't be doing? Checking and monitoring every movement? James chapter 1, verse 20 says, human anger does not produce the righteousness God desires. When you are angry, out of jealousy, it will make you to do things that you may even regret. Uncontrolled jealousy will make you to do things like constantly suspecting somebody, monitoring them, accusing them, controlling them, and eventually it leads to emotional exhaustion on the part of the person that is being controlled or monitored. Eventually, they may develop resentment. When people are jealous, Sometimes you see them wanting access to your phone, wanting to know what your password is, or sneaking behind your back and figuring it out and breaking into your phone. They want to know your location at all times. They use location apps to track your movements. They monitor your friendships, who you speak to and who you didn't speak to. They need your attention 24/7 because fear is controlling them. Such fear, when it is not controlled, will destroy the peace and trust that makes a relationship to thrive. Because James chapter 3 verse 16 says, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exists, there will be disorder." People that are jealous are motivated by self-interest, self-preservation, trying to keep what they think is theirs. But you don't own somebody. If you look very closely, you'll find that the root of most jealousy is insecurity. Insecurity. It will constantly make you afraid of losing the love that you have. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 25 says, "The fear of man lays a snare." What does it mean in this context? It simply means that when you're overly jealous, it will trap you. It will make you feel like you are in a trap. Spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, you are like somebody that is in a trap. When you are very jealous, out of fear of losing someone, many times it will result in your doing the very things that will push the person away, that you lose them eventually, so that what you were afraid of is what ends up happening. Because nobody likes to be constantly treated like a criminal when they know they are being faithful, and you are constantly making them feel they are doing something wrong. Eventually, the person will feel emotionally suffocated. Proverbs chapter 14 verse 30 says, "A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones." This means that when you are calm on the inside, when you are content on the inside, it makes you to be healthy physically, mentally, and emotionally. But when you are jealous, it creates problems. Jealousy and envy, they are very toxic, and they will cause you to be stressed, and it will damage your mental health, your emotional well-being from inside. Why are people jealous? What is the root of it? If you look closely, people that are jealous are wounded people, people that have been hurt in the past. Maybe they have been betrayed or abandoned in the past by people that they loved or trusted or both. And so it may be that they were cheated on, betrayed. They grew up maybe competing for love, or learned that love can disappear. Somebody that they loved left and disappeared one day as they were growing up. Past betrayals and abandonment, they shape the way people think and the way they feel on the inside. And it will in turn shape the way they react to situations that they encounter in the future. So they try to control everything because they are afraid of losing those things. But that is not a healthy approach. Psalm 147 verse 3 says, "He heals the brokenhearted and he binds up their wounds." This is talking about God. If your heart has been broken, if you have been wounded by betrayal and abandonment in the past, it is God that can heal your hurt. if you invite him in. Because carrying such emotion into a relationship is very dangerous. So instead of trying to control situation, invite God in to heal your wounded heart so that you enter a new relationship afresh. Or if you're already in one, that the one that you have will grow and thrive, and that you'll not suffocate it with your jealousy and envy. If you carry past wounds into a new relationship, like I mentioned, it is very, very dangerous. It may eventually make the person to leave you. They feel that you don't deserve their being faithful to you. It is only when somebody has a very strong moral foundation, where they are afraid of God and what God will think, that's when they will keep being faithful to you anyway, no matter what you do. But if they don't have that strong moral foundation and fear of God in them to motivate them to do the right thing anyway, and they are just being faithful because of you, to please you, to keep you happy, if you keep treating them like that, they will get tired one day and they will do the very thing that you are afraid of. Let me tell you another story. This story is about a man that married the village beauty. Every man in the village and even beyond wanted to marry her. She was so beautiful, but the man was lucky to be the one chosen. But he was constantly afraid that he was gonna lose her, that other men would take her away from him. And so he followed her everywhere she went. Everywhere she was going, he was accompanying her. On the surface, people will say, oh, this man loves this woman so much. But the girl knew better. And so one day she said she was going to the stream to fetch water. And as usual, he followed her. When they got to the stream, she left her water pot at the edge of the stream and told the husband that she wanted to go into the bush to ease herself. That was how they handled business at the time. And so he stood guard at the edge of the bush, waiting for the wife. Eventually, she came out with a very large bushmeat in her arms, and she looked the husband in the eye and told him that it was her lover who was waiting for her inside the bush that gave her the bushmeat. The elders told this story to warn against excessive jealousy and control, because truly it is somebody that can control what they do and do not do. You may seem like you know everything they are doing and following them, but there are some times when you cannot do that. And when you think you got it covered, they will always find a way to cheat if they were to be so inclined. That the right approach is to motivate somebody to be faithful to you. Encourage them. Make them to desire to please you, to remain faithful to you. Because controlling them and monitoring them is going to do the opposite. Control cannot bring about any desirable behavior. It is only trust that can do that. Now, some people may say, if somebody is very possessive, it means that they love you. That is not true. Love gives freedom. There is a proverb that says, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it is truly yours. And if it does not, then it was never meant to be. 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 17 says, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. God himself gives us freedom to choose. Even though he is all powerful and he can make us to do whatever he wants, he gives us free will. He wants us to choose to love him. He wants us to choose to be with him. He wants us to choose to have a relationship with him. And that is how we are supposed to treat each other. Make them choose. Choose you. Make them to choose you. Suspicion and restriction sometimes lead to emotional abuse in the disguise of love. So it becomes like One partner cannot talk to another person. You cannot dress freely. You cannot go anywhere peacefully. You cannot even breathe without suspicion. But love is patient. Love is kind. That is what we are told in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. True love is not selfish, because somebody that is controlling and monitoring you out of jealousy is doing so out of self-interest. Love is not selfish. It is not prideful. It is not controlling. Now, there are times though where jealousy is not all about insecurity. It may be that your spirit is picking on something. Maybe there has been a history of cheating in that relationship. And maybe one partner is actually acting very suspicious. They are crossing some boundaries. Or they may be doing what is called emotional cheating. They are not actually being practically unfaithful, but in their minds, they are longing for somebody else. Their mind is on somebody else. That is emotional cheating. There are some red flags that will alert you to somebody cheating on you. One is emotional distance. Somebody that used to be all attentive and emotionally and mentally present with you, there seems to be a distance. When they are there, they are not quite there. You can tell that their mind is somewhere else. Or the person becomes secretive and they start hiding something. A phone call comes in, they take the phone to somewhere else to answer. Not because of a job or maybe giving somebody some counseling where they need privacy. They just go somewhere else because they don't want you to hear what is going on. Or the person flirts openly, lies repeatedly. They will lie repeatedly. Protect their phone as if it is classified information. They will even entertain inappropriate behavior from somebody else. Those are red flags. There is a difference between jealousy and discernment. Insecurity will make you to hurl accusations on somebody without any evidence to support it. But if you are discerning, you're going to be looking at patterns. There are certain signs that you are looking for that are going to be there, not just one occurrence, but consistent ones over time that will make you know that something is not right. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 3 says, "The prudent sees danger and hides himself." In this context, it simply means that when you have actual evidence, that is when you take action. Couples handle concerns about jealousy in a different way from unhealthy couples. They use communication. They talk to each other honestly about how they feel. If something is making them uncomfortable, they talk to each other about it. Instead of saying something like, "Who were you texting?" they will say something like, "What you did made me uncomfortable, and I want us to talk about it." People that are mature, they use conversations. They don't use accusations. James chapter 1 verse 19 says, "Let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger." You don't see and react immediately. You look more closely. You observe more. And then you ask to talk about it. Healthy people, they try to build trust in their relationship. And you don't build trust through monitoring somebody all the time. You build trust with each other. You build transparency. You are open with each other. If anything comes up or happens, you offer the information. You don't even wait for the other person to ask you. You clear the ground. It is good to be open with each other. It is very, very important because that encourages trust. Build transparency. Build consistency in your relationship. And you need to create boundaries. Make sure that you are having a safe and trusting relationship where everybody is comfortable with what is going on. And if at any point in time things are not going the way you want, you talk about it honestly with your partner in a calm manner without any accusations. You cannot force somebody to be faithful to you. They have to want to be faithful to you, no matter how much you monitor them. If they want to be unfaithful to you, they'll find a way to do it. Proverbs chapter 27 verse 5 says, "Better is open rebuke than hidden love." It is better to be open in your relationship, even if you don't like what you hear. There is no need to keep monitoring your partner in your relationship. If you are already needing to monitor them to keep them faithful to you, then that relationship is already broken, because real faithfulness cannot be forced. It cannot be forced. Let's talk about where people are jealous of other people. Okay? Where they are jealous of other people, where they are doing comparison, and then they are envious. They see things happening to somebody and they wonder, why them and not me? They are jealous of others' success, attention, their beauty, the number of followers they have on social media. They are jealous of people's marriages, jealous of opportunities that others have, the friendships that other people have developed, even other people's lifestyles. Envy will quietly destroy your peace of mind. Proverbs chapter 14 verse 30 says, "A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones." A rotten bone is not a healthy thing. That's what envy will do to you. It will destroy you. Jealousy says, why them and not me? Instead of, what can I learn from them? People will not even celebrate the success of others. Instead, they are comparing, and envy is eating them alive. The Bible tells us that comparison leads to envy. We should not be comparing. A jealous heart will never have a peace of mind. It will never rest. Envy quietly destroys your peace. Comparison is dangerous. Social media has amplified jealousy to another level. They're swiping through and they see perfect pictures, perfect bodies, perfect couples, perfect vacations, and they are sitting in their imperfect reality. But those images could be distorted images, and even if they are real, so what? Galatians chapter 6 verse 4 says, "Each one should test their own actions without comparing themselves." That is a wise advice. There is a kind of jealousy that is the worst kind, where somebody claims to love you and they are jealous of good things happening to you. They are jealous of your growth. Your confidence bothers them. Your success bothers them. And even your peace of mind bothers them. Romans chapter 12 verse 15 says, rejoice with those who rejoice. If you love someone, you should be happy for them when they are doing well. Real love celebrates your success. It is not envious of you. When people are jealous of you in your relationship, they compete with you, even though they claim to love you. They resort to subtle subterfuge. They start putting roadblocks in your attempt to succeed. They downplay your wins, your successes. They discourage your dreams. And when you are doing well, they are cold towards you. They may support you publicly, but inside, it's eating them up. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4 again says, love does not envy. If you love someone, how can you be envious of them? It doesn't make sense. Jealousy can serve as a mirror to check yourself. As you look at your reflection in the mirror and you see yourself, if you see yourself being jealous, check yourself. It may be that your jealousy is revealing insecurity. It reveals fear. It's revealing your past wounds. It's revealing a broken trust. Check yourself. Because unhealthy jealousy will destroy the very thing that you are trying to protect. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 8 says, above all, love each other deeply. You are supposed to love each other deeply. When you love somebody deeply, you want to lift them up. You don't want to bring them down. You don't want to make them stagnant. You celebrate their wins. For your relationship to grow, you need to heal your past wounds. You need to let trust develop in your relationships. You can't go on distrusting people. And you have to communicate with somebody that you love about anything that is bothering you in the relationship. Anything that you notice that makes you uncomfortable. Because love is not possessive. Love gives freedom. True love gives freedom. True love is selfless. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 8, again, I'll repeat, says, above all, love each other deeply. Think about it. That is the way God wants us to care about each other in our relationship. Deep love that is genuine. Because love is trust. Love brings about peace. Love brings about security in your relationship. It makes you feel safe. And it gives you freedom with some responsibility. Responsibility to be faithful. Because you are truly loved. You are inspired to be faithful. Psalm 139 verse 23 says, search me, O God, and know my heart. If you look closely at your heart, and when you see yourself acting a certain way, you ask yourself, why am I acting this way? If you find yourself feeling jealous, the question you should ask yourself is not, am I jealous? But rather, why am I jealous? And I want to hear from you. Answer this question. Is jealousy a sign of love, or is it a sign of insecurity? I want to hear your personal thoughts. And don't forget to follow so that you can get more conversations like this one about love, relationships, healing, and emotional truth. See you next time. Follow Light and Peace Through the Storm on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. To stay connected, visit ceciliapublished.com. And you can also find me on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Just search for @Light and Peace Pod.